What's going
Thank you
on?
so much for coming on my podcast today. I really appreciate it. So, this is actually the first episode of Room Full of Bosses. I just want you to introduce yourself, let people know what you do. Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, I'm happy to be here.
Yes, me
Um,
too.
yeah, so my name is Kaleb Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a business credit consultant.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Mm.
And I just want to say I'm so grateful to have you on my panel today.
Mhm.
I actually was really, really excited
Mhm.
because I'm so inspired by what you do. You know what I mean? I watch you. I watch you start from training,
Yeah,
being a trainer to from going towards that to doing business credit to doing everything real estate, and I see you doing your thing. So I'm really, really proud of you.
I appreciate
And
that.
I'm really excited to talk to you today. So the
Okay.
first thing I wanted to talk about, tell people like how do you establish like a business? How do you start like say if I was a regular person I wanted to start a business.
hmm
Tell me how do I go about that?
Well, purpose is definitely important,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
but as far as like technicalities and the practical things that get your business legitimately formalized, you want to get your LLC, get your name, make sure the name is available. After that, you also get your operating agreement, and then you get your agreement with the state. The
Mm-hmm.
agreement. Yeah, I can't even think of the name right now.
Is it the you mean
Articles.
the article,
Yes, the
right? Because I know
articles.
that's super important.
Yeah,
I know, but you know what I heard though? I heard that if your business is not set up properly, you'll have
for
issues.
sure.
You know how they say sometimes like if you don't have like a business number, you know
Mm,
what I mean, or like a business email, you'll have trouble. So like maybe like getting funding, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I know that to establish you need a actual good business, you need those things, right?
yeah,
So tell me a little bit about that.
yeah. I mean, you could. It depends on the purpose of what you're trying to do. Now, getting ready for just to have a legitimate business or getting
Mm-hmm.
ready for funding is like almost two different things. It's
Mm-hmm.
similar, but it's a little different.
Right.
So when you picking a name of your business, that's one of the most important things.
I know
So you
that.
want to have any high risk names. So anything with credit, real estate, trucking. There's a lot of smoke shops, things out there. Anything with
Smoke
hotels,
shops?
yeah, it's high risk.
Are you serious? I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
yeah,
No, like you're literally teaching me something. I did not know smoke shops were literally high risk.
yeah, definitely.
Wow, that's crazy. So
Mm,
even just the name itself could be high risk. Like say if I
yeah,
was a bank and I was asking for funding, even the name would just be like,
yeah, they red
wow,
flag it.
that's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so those are little things that can stop people getting from funding. So most people they want to name it, after what they're doing.
Yeah.
The best thing is to keep it broad.
Keep it
Keep it
broad.
broad. So a lot of people put global behind it. Solutions use their last name, use their initials.
Mm-hmm.
Enterprise. Um, Mine's is Infinite Wealth Strategies.
And that's great.
Yeah,
That's fire.
yeah.
I like
Thank you.
that. That's actually really good. That's
Yeah,
fire. Yeah. I actually like that. I feel like it's good to have something broad and you can utilize that for really anything you want. You
yeah.
understand what I'm saying? And it looks good. If I was a bank and I seen that, I'll be like, okay, you're good to go. So that's fire. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about was funding.
Mhm.
Like if a person wanted funding or maybe like business funding, how do we go about that?
Okay, that's so. It's always more than one way to skin a cat.
Right.
A lot of my answers is it varies
Okay.
because some people take the Paydex route,
Yeah.
which is fine. Which out that basically now
Wait,
you
sorry to cut you off by Paydex. What you mean by Paydex? Because people
so
don't know what Paydex
all
is.
right. So you go by your business, your score,
Yeah,
your
the
business
nav.
credit, yeah, the NAV,
Right.
the business credit. So
Mm-hmm.
that's one way of going about it. People do that because if you have bad credit, instead of trying to fix the bad credit, they just like, well, just focus on EIN, build
Mm-hmm.
out trade line accounts.
Right.
As you pay those accounts, then you build up your history.
Right.
But the way I do it with my clients is that we leverage their personal. Yeah.
See?
Uh,
And I always say, like, a lot of people always want to go through that business credit route. Not saying that it's not it's not a good thing. However, I will say there's other ways and
Yes.
quicker ways. You know what I mean? Because instead of you spending all this money on that 30s, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like
Yeah. You could be using that for credit
for
repair.
credit repair. No, seriously, and that's what you do.
Mm.
And I love that because I love the fact that you start with personal credit and then you work your way up to business.
Yeah.
It's like people don't understand it correlates. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's fire.
And a lot of the banks, the bigger banks are, they care about your personal.
Yeah.
So they want to match the comparables and they actually going to ask you to personal guarantor or which is also PG, and with any business credit lines that you do get. So
Right.
you want to make sure that you're up to par. If you got any negative, you know, charge off, late payments, collections, it's going to red flag it,
Yeah,
no
I
matter
already
how much
know.
the paydex score is.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? I feel like it also kind of lets them know you as a person.
Yeah,
You say you're a big business, you know what I mean? But if you got all of these charge off, it shows who you are as a person.
yeah,
So I'm gonna lend you $50,000, but you can't even pay a credit card like
yeah, exactly.
back. You know what I mean? So I definitely agree with you on that, and I love that. That's actually pretty fire. A lot of people don't know that, so I'm happy that we're able to spit that on here. So that's big. And honestly, I will ask you, how long have you been doing like business credit
Mhm.
funding and building personal credit? How long has this been? Because I knew you.
Yeah,
When did I meet? When did I don't even know. Honestly, I started off with you training.
yeah,
I literally knew you for a minute because I was like over 100 pounds.
yeah.
I was big. So I started using your app, which is
Shout
amazing.
out to the Team KB
Yes,
app.
which was good. So I actually started using your app, but I didn't know. I knew you as just like you just did basically like working out and you were a trainer.
Mhm.
And then from there I was like, "Hold on." So when did you start really officially doing this?
Was February would make 2 years.
Wow.
So it was definitely a crazy transition, a shock
Yeah.
to the world
Yeah.
because I've been training for 10 years.
Mhm.
So and back to you, I didn't see her results until after the fact. I'm like, she's out of training with you. I'm like, who are you? Wait, what? I didn't see, because I know my clients, even though they're virtual, I still know who they are when they check in.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, you're a whole different person. Where your pictures at? I could have been still training if you would have showed me those pictures.
Nah, I promise you. I promise you, like it was literally just like it was such a crazy time for me.
Yeah.
And I will say now that I'm at where I want to be, and like I'm not really where I want to be, but I'm still in a
You
great
look great.
space. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm in a great space mentally, physically,
Yeah.
emotionally, and spiritually. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm spiritually in tune to that. So I'm just happy. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And thank God for you. You really, really like shaped me and molded me. Like I used to see your stuff. I was like, no, I'm gonna do this. So that's crazy.
Thank you
And,
for
and
trusting.
yes,
But
yes, yes.
essentially, like based on what you said,
Mm-hmm.
with fitness is always bigger than just the physical for me.
Yeah.
So that's when I started implementing more of a mental check-ins with my clients, and I also
Mm-hmm.
realized financially they needed those check-ins.
Yes.
So how that came about, I was always giving game to my clients, whether it was
Mm-hmm.
budgeting, whether it was investing at the new at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So before I actually got into the space, I had like one business credit card, and I used that business credit card to actually purchase stuff from my business, and I bought my own resistant bands. So
Mm-hmm.
me taking a risk and leveraging OPM, other people's money,
Other people's money.
I was like, yo, I could actually scale this. I could actually do more. So from me buying the bands, because the reason I bought the bands because Amazon's was pretty cheap
Mm-hmm.
and they always didn't last long.
Yeah.
So I said I wanted to go to get something made out of vibranium.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to Wakanda and got some bands that tough as steel.
Yeah.
So by me doing that on the business side,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I didn't spend my own money. I paid about 1,000, 1,500, and I was able to profit
How
about.
many did you get for that?
I think I probably got like 400 or 500.
Wow. You
So,
see,
eh,
anything can
yeah,
listen. When people say, "Oh, I don't know where to start," I don't know. Like you can literally take bands,
yeah,
and like it's no excuse.
yeah. No,
It's
for
no
sure.
excuse. If you're working a job or you have some type of income, invest into yourself.
Yeah. So after I got the bands, I put it
Mm-hmm.
out there. I promoted. Marketing is always my thing, so I put it out there to my clients,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, yo, these is really work. And then from there, I started doing classes. Then after the
Mm-hmm.
classes, I turned it into a program on my app. So it just showed me what I can do about leveraging. So that was my first experience with business credit ever. I had one business credit card from Chase. And then as I started doing more check-ins with my clients, because we do Zoom calls weekly, and that was towards my end of training. And I realized I used to bring people on. So I bring people on that do real estate. I bring people on that do life insurance, people that do on credit. And then I brought, one of my business partners now, but he's just my boy at the time to talk to my tribe.
Mm-hmm.
And as he talking, I'm taking all the information in.
Right.
And once he started telling me about traveling for free and being
I
discounted,
know you was like, wait,
yeah.
back it up.
And
Right.
points and rewards, that intrigued me because
Yeah.
I know the type of lifestyle I want to have, but I don't want to pay for it. So that was my whole idea. So as I, started learning more about it, I'm always remaining a student. And I was
Mhm.
very successful in training. That's why I really shocked people. Like, yo, why you stop? Like nobody really jumps out when they're on top.
Right.
They had to wait.
No, I agree.
But I just felt it was more fulfillment thing for me.
Yeah.
And that's probably the biggest reason. Realizing I know I always wanted to do more than just to be a trainer,
Yeah.
and business was always something I had to take pride in, and I love about it. So
Mhm.
the fact I could go back and still help those people from training from fitness goals, now it's the finance goals, and helping them
Mhm.
to invest, giving them strategies how to market their business. So I get to help those same people just in a different way.
That's tough. I
Yeah.
love that. I'm not gonna lie, like that motivates me, and that sent chills through my body. You saying that
Mhm.
because that's how I feel. I feel the same exact way, and I'm just happy. I see the growth in you. That's
Thank you.
amazing. So let's talk a little bit about real estate. Like, how did you get? First of all, you're a jack of all trades. Like, people think I'm crazy. One thing about me, so I started.
Yeah.
I do this, that. They like, Imani, what don't you do? I'm doing a podcast, like
Yeah.
everything, but it's like you really the real jack of all trades. Tell me how you started that.
I literally started because of my brother.
Mm-hmm.
He was going to be a loan officer, but he was a loan assistant at the time.
Right.
And he basically had a referral deal with another realtor, and the realtor screwed him over.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave him the real to the client and basically didn't give him a referral fee.
Mm.
So, excuse me. So when it came down to it, he's like, yo, you should probably just take the test. Because I was interested in real estate because I seen what happened with my family. Yeah.
Oh, wait. So you actually went and took the actual real estate exam?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So,
How was that? Is it hard? Because I hear people talk about it all the time, like you don't need it. But I think it's good to really
yeah.
build your portfolio.
I mean, if you're trying to do retail real estate, then yeah, it helps because you get to learn more about the game.
Right.
But you don't actually need it if you're trying to go from the restaurant or wholesaling route.
Mm.
But I was like, you know what, I'll be the agent, I'll do it. And I studied, I took the test. It wasn't hard. I'm a person that prepares a lot. So it wasn't hard for me because I would take like 40 practice tests.
What's your sign again?
I'm a Sag.
Sagittarius. It makes sense. No, I feel you though. But yeah, so you said you studied a lot for it.
So I studied, I passed.
Yeah.
But my brother, he didn't pass because the loan officer test is 10 times harder than being a realtor.
Wait, so you have to go through two, the loan officer and
Well,
then...
no, for my brother at the same time because he was just a loan assistant.
Oh, he was just a loan
Yeah,
assistant.
so
Okay.
to be a loan officer, he could originate his own loans.
Right.
However, he didn't pass. So I was just out here. I'm like, I only did this because, we said we could work together because
Mhm.
we always want to have a black owned family business,
Right.
lease partnership. And he took the test 4 times.
What?
Yeah. So a whole year, I'm just like, I guess I'm just what I'm about to do because we was planning to work together.
Right.
So I ended up getting a deal my first year, one of the hardest deals. And I'm like, I guess I'm a realtor now. So how my training schedule was set up, I would train between like 9 and 11. And then during the day, I'll do real estate things. And then I'll train in the evening.
Oh, so you were kind of balancing like your
Yeah.
actual like personal life and then with training.
Well, I didn't really have much of a personal life.
Oh my gosh. See, I said that wrong. I didn't mean personal. I meant like you were basically balancing like your actual like training
Yeah.
to do that too.
Yeah. So it was good because I wanted to try things because my other background is that I dropped out of college very early.
Wow. I would never think.
Yeah.
So educated, you know.
So that's the
But
thing.
wow.
I hated school, but I love education. So yeah, St. John's, I was there for a semester and I wanted to study marketing.
Mm.
But however, when I spoke to my professor, my economics professor, I'll never forget, I'm like, yo, when do I learn about marketing and the real stuff? He was like, nah, you gotta take your BS courses for 2 years. And then your junior year, you'll learn a little bit about it.
No way.
So I did the math. I'm like, 14,000 semesters. That means when I get out of here, I'm gonna get a 40K job. This don't add up. So I'm out. And then, my mother was mad, but I rolled the dice.
Yeah.
So I've always been that person of like, yo, let me take the chance because I don't want to live with no regrets.
Right.
But what people forget and the younger generation forget is that you have to educate yourself. You have to study. You have to network. You have to be in the rooms with people that's doing it already. And you have to understand how business works. So that's all I was doing this whole time. So I wasn't getting a formal education, but I was getting a real life experience. So that was from me dropping out.
Mm-hmm.
And me dropping out, training just came about. And then as I'm training, I became good at it. And I started, helping more people. And I'm like, yo, I got to figure out how can I really master this. And then I start niching down. So that's why I tell my clients now, niche down and have a target of who you want to go after. And then my thing was, helping women being fit without losing their curves. And that took off. I was training for about 6 years. My 6 year, that's when I really was seeing the growth.
Yeah.
And around year 9 and 10, around 9 and 10, I was like, yo, all right, I know what's next.
Right.
And that's just the type of person I am. It's like I want a new challenge because you helping somebody get the boyfriend. You help them through the ex. They get the new boyfriend. They get married. They get the baby, and they still coming back. So women, you help them once, they come back with bigger expectations.
That is so funny. Nah, you right though.
So when it came down, it's like, yo, KB fix me. I'm like, yo, I can't listen. I know I can promise results in 2 to 4 weeks, but yo, you're older now. Like,
right, that's a little harder.
Yeah.
Nah, but that's mad crazy. And I also remember too, when I was looking at your stuff, I'm like, dang. I was like, if I could get like that, I'm like, maybe I could do this before vacation. I have a lot of women hit you like that. They be like, oh, can you get me right before vacation? My vacation's 2 weeks away. Yeah. Like, that's so funny.
That was the thing about me, difference in the training space, is that I would take on those people. Mm-hmm. Most people wouldn't take on those people because they didn't want that type of pressure. Or they also didn't want to deal with that type of client. They wanted it to be a lifestyle change. Mm-hmm. However, I'm like, I meet people where they at, and I know I'm on target. Mm-hmm. So a lot of things I did was very unorthodox in the space, where it was like, yo, you throwing a brunch? I'm like, yeah, it's a Team KB brunch. I'm throwing pool parties, bus trips, because I know my clients going to do it anyway. Yeah. And I'd rather them do it with me. And, I teach them how to be, modernization. Mm-hmm. So when they used to get the results, when they see the results, because that's what I marketed, they didn't realize how much work and sacrifice it goes into it. Right. So that was my way to bring people in. And once they got there, like, oh, we really working out. I'm like, yeah. Like, I'm going to laugh and crack jokes, but you got to work out. Like,
let's not forget, this is the real. Like, so I love that.
How it translates to funding now is that I just don't take people on because they have an 800 credit score. Right. Like, I really try to figure out, what's your plan? How are we going to make sure you're profitable? Mm-hmm. So most people that do it in the funding space, they just like, whatever you got the credentials, all right, we're going to push the app through. I want to make sure before you get this 50,000, 100,000 in the next 30 days that you know what you're going to do with it. Because if you never made 100 grand and you get access to that in 4 weeks, what are you doing? You flying out, you going to Neiman's, you buying that bag.
And let me say something. I do feel like a lot of people, they take this whole funding thing a little too like they take it out of concept. Like, all right, for example, if I get funding, you understand what I'm saying? I know I need a business plan, proposal. You understand what I'm saying? I need something because it has to be paid back.
Exactly.
I think
it's
people
not grant
forget
money.
that. They think it's grant money, and it's so funny to me, but it's actually something that you need to pay back. So it's good to have a plan. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I love the fact that you actually tailor to that. Like, you tell people, like, listen, I got to know, what's your plan? You understand what I'm saying? Sure. I'm not just going to lead you in a way of, getting you this money and leave you in the dark, and that's amazing. Yeah. So have you ever dealt with any situations like that?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because when I first started, I was just trying to help everybody.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that I did help was people that was from fitness or they knew me from being a trainer, and they trusted me. So it's like you build a brand, people going to trust you, whatever the next thing is. Yeah. And you want to make sure you're good at it too. However, I had some clients fumble the bag. Like, they came with me, it's like, yeah, I'm going to do Airbnb. I'm like, okay. And I check in with them a month later. I'm like, how the Airbnb going? Oh, I'm doing event space now. And I'm like, all right. So when they told me they want to do these certain things, I'll try to assist them with certain partners. Right. Like, yo, this, you could do Airbnb with this. You could do, event space. I know this person. I follow this person. So when I seen that became a pattern, I'm like, I got to take a step back because it was bothering me as an integrity issue because it was the most I made in a short amount of time as far as me doing consulting. And
how long was that?
That was when I first figured it out.
Nah, like the amount that you made, the shortest.
Oh, I did 100K in 3 months.
Wow.
So when I did that, I was excited, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't feel right about this. Yeah. And not just because of the people, but I just felt like I don't have a proven system or an angle. Yeah. I'm just helping whoever. So I went through depression after that.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because when you help somebody and you want them to do better, and they don't do that. Even though it's not your responsibility, it's like, damn, do I feel good about this money that I just made? And I gave them the great service, what they wanted, but however, they just didn't follow through with it. So I was like, I got to take a step back. And then when I took that step back, it was tough for me because that was my main source because I wasn't training as much. And then when I fully retired in the 2022, 2023 probably.
Retired?
Yeah, I retired from training.
You don't train no more?
Nah.
Oh, I'm happy for you because that's a big step. Because
Yeah.
starting from training and that's all you know, you understand what I'm saying? And that's really how you, like, from dropping out and then doing training, I know that's like your baby.
Yeah, it's bread and butter.
That was your baby.
Yeah.
So going from that to what you do now, I know that's a huge transition.
Yeah, it was a culture shock.
Yeah.
Because as I was still training in the transition, I wasn't taking on new people, and then I announced it to my people, let them know like this is my last 6 months. So 2022, I was like, oh, this is it. I turned 30, and I'm like, all right, I'm retiring. 30, new chapter, and I got hit with the biggest challenges of my life in 2023.
What?
Because of real estate.
Real estate.
So I took my funding, I'm running my play, invested into real estate, and everything don't. I look at it now as that I was overzealous or super ambitious. So I was doing 3 real estate projects at once, and I basically over leveraged myself.
Hold on. So you were doing 3? That's a lot. Yeah. How did you balance that? And you weren't training at the time.
No, I wasn't training. Yeah, this is after. This
Okay.
is beginning of 2023.
So wait. So because I remember you posted something before where you had like I think it was like some type of like a house.
Yeah, we was doing a flip.
Yeah, flip. So you took on 3 projects?
Yeah, I would never do that again. Yeah, because with funding, I funded myself $250,000 the first 45 days.
Yeah.
So when I took on my mentorship and I learned how to do it, it was easier for me because my business was already established and my credit was already good.
Right.
So I'm thinking it's going to be easier for everybody else, but everybody wasn't set up like how it was.
Exactly.
So when it came down to, I'm like, I have all this capital, let me do something with it.
Right.
And I know about real estate, but I don't know how to build a house. I know how to sell them. But when it came down to these projects, the numbers look good. However, contractors are not the most trustworthy people.
Yeah.
So
at all.
The things didn't line up the way it did. And I did my due diligence. That's why I felt so disgusted with it. Cause I'm like, I did everything right. It's not like I blew the money. I'm invested in it. But it's a big learning experience for myself. And I'm thankful that I'm able to, to be here today because I was about to lose it all.
You know what though? I feel like that is so amazing that you say that because a lot of people don't understand, like, it takes you to really go through something and really fumble to get back up times 10. Yeah. You understand? I've been there. Like, I've been through so much. I've been up and down, but that's a part of life.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
You grow bigger every time, and you get better every time.
Yeah.
You understand? And you're gonna give your best every time you get back up. You're gonna do better.
Yeah.
So that's fire. I love that.
Thank you.
So wait, so how are you doing in real estate now?
I took a step back from it.
You did?
Yeah. So this is actually the first time in my life I ever focused on one thing. Wow. So
that's big.
Yeah, because it started with training, and after training, I was doing my nonprofit or my community organization called Feeding the City, where we give out food to the homeless during the holidays. From there, I was doing modeling because one of my clients was a photographer.
Yo, like I said, you're a jack of all trades. Like, I cannot make this up. You're the only person that I know that literally reminds me of me in the male form. Like, you do modeling?
Yeah, modeling was dope.
How was that?
I got signed. But
you was with an agency?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I got signed and I did a vegan protein commercial.
Yeah.
A Vega protein, and then I got my own deal through Instagram with VIM, and that was my biggest highlight. I was on all the city buses.
That is so.
Yeah. So they found me on Instagram. I thought it was fake. I thought it was like some spam.
You thought it was like a little scam? Oh,
because I'm like VIM. I haven't shopped there since I was a kid.
Yeah.
But it was running for like a good 5-6 months.
Vim is the store that have like because I know Vim. Trust me, if you're from Brooklyn, you know Vim.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That is fire. Yeah. That's fire, KB. That's
so
real.
That was dope. I just wish they put my name on there because they had the buses. They was in the stores. People used to send me pictures. It was called the KB Spot Challenge. So it was dope. That was a good little run.
That's fire.
And then from there,
fire.
that led to acting. And acting,
What don't you do? Sorry, but go ahead.
yeah, acting was dope. I got some stuff on. It was on Amazon. It's on Tubi now. But you know how Tubi stuff you be going. But
But let me tell you something. If you can have something and highlight it, why not? Like,
Yeah.
I would listen.
But
I'd
it's
rather
good
be on
though.
Tubi than YouTube.
It's
Okay.
good. It's
Yeah.
I was in a movie and another series, Pray For You Eat 2, Pray For You Eat 3, and there's something called Sisters Keeper.
Can we watch that now?
Yeah, you can watch it now.
Okay, so now y'all know. Make sure y'all go watch that. But yeah, so how was that experience? Tell me, like.
Acting showed me how much of a team is needed. And I was going as an actor, but I was really looking as a director, and I was seeing how much everything is needed. You need light, you need mic, you need background, you need all of these different things, and it really showed me that everybody needs to show up, especially if you're independent with a lower budget. It can change everything if one person's not there. So it showed me how to be creative as well. And we were shooting a series I was in. We literally used one room and turned it into 6 different sceneries.
Really?
Yeah, so
That's
it was really dope. I met a lot of people through modeling and acting, which also end up leading to training or leading to business funding now.
That's a good way to network.
So I always been in always doing more than one thing. But this is the first time I didn't want to, I want to be stingy with my focus. And I think by me doing that, that's helping me excel with funding, but really building a business that I don't have to be as present as much. Like the business is running itself. So I just made a promise to myself, like, I got to take a step back for everything else, and let me just give a fair shot to one thing, because I was always doing multiple things, and it was good. But at the same time, I don't know how much further I could be if I just focus on that one thing.
Right. So when you say you don't know how much further you can be focusing on that one thing, do you feel like if you focus on just that, you're gonna lose in some type of way? Like, what do you mean by that?
Because I think a lot of people can be great at many things. Like, there's many things that you can do.
Yeah.
However, it's kind of selfish to think if you're focused on something twice a week or doing podcasts, and somebody else is focused 7 days a week.
Right.
It's kind of selfish to think that you're gonna be excel faster than this person or be better than this person. So I learned that, I could do multiple things, and I like multiple things. We all humans, we have different gifts, but this is what I'm doing right now.
Right.
Because if you're saying yes to one thing, you're saying no to everything else. So we're doing this podcast right now, so whatever else is out there, it doesn't matter.
Right.
My phone will do not disturb because we locked in right now.
Right.
So to get the most out of this conversation, when you talk to somebody, they on their phone, they hear you, but they're not really getting everything.
Not really hearing you.
So I just look at it like that when it comes down to your craft. Like, you want to get the most out of it.
I like that. Yeah. That's fire. One thing I want to ask you, right? Like, being from New York, do you feel like that actually contributed? Like, well, it's a contribution to your success. Like, do you feel like being a New Yorker kind of pushed you a little further to like really exceed or get to your goals or want to really push further? Yeah,
this is the hustle city. Like, it's to a point where it's like, as soon as you come back, whatever island you went to, you smell the air, like, yo, I gotta get to it.
I gotta get
like,
to it.
You on the plane, like, I gotta get to it. But however, that's also not good in other areas because we don't know how to rest. So when it comes down to rest, it's like, no, it's a city that never sleeps. So that's one thing I did learn as I did travel, at discounted or for free with my points, that everybody is not on the hustle and bustle like that, and they're still successful. And that was a part that was always alarming to me, like, how are they doing it? So it's like, I learned to approach things with grace. So when I'm working, I'm locked in. When I'm not, I'm chilling.
Right.
And I think
balance.
Yeah. Because you got to be able to plug in and plug out. Because you think you're a machine, machines break down. So,
that was big. I like that. That was that. Yeah. Go ahead.
So, when you in scarcity, if you grow up struggling, which I did, you just think like, I just got to make money. I just got to make money, get out. So whatever I got to do, I got to make some money before I come back in the house. Now, I wasn't selling drugs. I was selling training. I was selling fitness. So I'm outside from sun up until it's like, all right, I'm black now. Like, I'm super black. And, bringing my yoga mats, walking to the park, just thinking about visualizing about the things that I want and the things I want to go after and what I want to build. So to be able to do that and live out that vision, I'm like, all right, now at another level, I want to be able to, one of my dreams, I don't think I even shared this, but I actually do want to create my own school.
That's big.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
can do that.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, can I say something?
Go ahead.
I feel like we live in a world where people are very like they don't understand that you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
As long as you put your mind to it. And I'm happy that I have you sitting on the panel with me because people think that I probably do too much. I don't know. I've met people who think that and I don't give no F's. Like, I don't care. I just personally feel like you can do whatever you want. If you want to be an astronaut, you can do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's so big for me. So you want to do a school, like that's fire. Tell me about your nonprofit too. You said you had a nonprofit, right?
Yeah, it's called Feeding the City.
Wow, that's crazy. I was actually, me and my mom, when I was in Florida just now, we just fed the homeless. So that's something that I really want to start doing out here too. I was going to actually do a vlog like next week. Yeah, we were going to actually like go out and feed the homeless and cook. So that's cool.
Yeah, that actually started the same year I started training.
Wow.
It was something I always wanted to do since I was younger. And I felt like I had a couple clients at the time. I'm like, yo, I have a platform. So at that time, I'm thinking a couple clients at the platform.
Right.
But I just put it out there and they was like, yo, that's something I want to do. So my thing was, I feel like we're so wasteful, you know, during that time of Thanksgiving. And, you know, you make all this food, you know, yams, mac, everything. And then after the third day, you throw everything out.
Yeah.
You know, so my thing was like, the people that's on the street, do they know how to feel to get a hot plate of fresh food? Not something from, you know, a soup kitchen. Thank God for the soup kitchen, but like a real home cook.
A real, like, actual home cooked meal that they would enjoy.
Exactly.
That's
so
nice.
Being that they don't have a home, that was something I put out there. And we did 52 meals the first year. I put, with the help of social media and support from the community, did 400 meals, and then we went to 1,000, then went to 2,000. Then we partnered with the Boys and Girls Club, the YMCA. It became way bigger than me.
Yeah.
And one of the funniest moments is when I was training one of my clients, and she was a young client at the time. Make me sound old, right?
Yeah.
But she was like probably like 20, 19.
Okay.
And I was training her. I was like, yo, what you doing for Thanksgiving? Because he's talking after the session. She's like, oh, I'm doing this Feeding the City thing. Like, it was so dope. I did it last year. And then it's about a whole bunch of young people giving back. And, you know, we go into the trains and we go to different shelters. I was like, word, that's what's up. She's like, what you doing? I'm like, nah, I'm just chilling. Not knowing that was my whole operation.
Right. That was your calling.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was just so dope because it got so bigger than me.
Yeah.
She didn't even know that.
She didn't even know that you, wait. Yeah. So she was actually doing something from you and didn't even know.
Nah, she didn't even know. She was training with me.
Wow. Wow.
But I was so hyped for her to hear the message and the mission and repeat that to me.
Right.
Because that's what I was implementing as the mission of why we doing it. Because they say, you know, millennials don't care about nobody. Yeah. You know, we just selfish.
That's not true.
Yeah, so.
We really care. You know what's funny? I feel like, honestly, we're in a time now, especially our generation, we can make the biggest impact.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, because we have these platforms. You understand? We have social media, word of mouth. There's a lot of things that we can do to spread the word. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I personally feel like we really doing our big one. Like, if you're out here doing something, you're doing it for you and you're making an impact. Point blank, period. Yeah. You know?
And even for that, one of my boys is telling me, he's like, I don't think you understand what you're doing. I'm like, yo, we giving out food. What you mean? He's like, no, like, everybody rep their hood, they rep their block, but you actually feeding them. Yeah. And I'm like, well, damn, it's not actually me, but it's us. Yeah. But just as like, yo, you actually created a platform where younger people do want to give back, but they just don't have nobody create it. And even with that, I learned a lot about the nonprofit game, a lot of politics with that. And, you know, politicians try to stamp their name on what I was doing.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they try to like, oh, so who where's the team behind Feeding the City? Who is this?
Wait, tell me more about that.
Yo, it was crazy. Like, that was the thing. I learned so much at a younger age.
Yeah.
Of people, they wanted the younger people. So a lot of times when they have these different meetings and town meetings, the young people don't come out. So being I had the youth, and that's what they want, they was trying to figure out who's behind this. And they didn't know it was just me.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
But
So,
that's sorry to cut you off, but that's why I was saying, like, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was dope.
To even have that and them, wow.
So a lot of my close friends, they teamed up. They had their people, and people was making turkeys for us, 2 days before Thanksgiving. Even with going on with their family, you know how the Black mothers about their kitchen. Yeah. So it was just, and then as we kept growing, restaurants started donating to what we were doing, and it showed me how much we could be a collective for this one particular day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, how we could do this more often.
Right.
And then we started expanding to Christmas. So my boy used to dress up as Santa Claus. We go to different shelters.
Oh wow,
We get,
that's
make a Christmas party for them.
nice.
So
Yeah.
it's been a great run. It's not the magnitude that it was before,
Mhm.
but however, I want to still implement the community now with the financial education and financial
Mhm.
literacy. So yeah, that's my thing is purpose. Like whatever
Purpose.
you're doing, just make sure you have purpose behind it. And I have a strong faith that God ordered my steps
Mhm.
because it's very a lot of confusion here because you can make money from doing Amazon. You can make money from doing Airbnb, Toro. There's so many different
Can we
things.
tap into that? I want to
Mhm.
ask you something. So I've been seeing a lot of different gurus and
Yeah.
people on, Instagram saying, "Oh yeah, you can do this, you can do that." I want I want you to really tell people like what it is. You know what I mean? Like I do believe that there's money in many places.
Yeah.
I just believe that you have to really focus on one thing at one time.
Yeah. And you gotta know what's for you.
What's for you, right?
Because just because I did it this way doesn't mean that's gonna be the right thing for you. So most people, we live in the world of comparison. So you see something online, you'll buy this, 90 days, you'll make six figures, It's very cookie cutter kind of things. But my thing is if you're doing a mentorship or coaching, which is fine, at least identify who you want to target. Don't say it's for everybody.
Yeah.
Because, we all have different skill sets and different advantages. So my thing is stick to your advantage. If you don't know your advantage, then figure that out first before you try to go after anything.
Right.
So I know my advantage was, being witty, being creative, doing marketing, and also I'm good with numbers. So it just makes sense for me to do funding. And I don't recommend people do funding if it's their first business because you haven't really experienced what it means to invest into something. So if you start off as, a coach and it's like, yo, you never played, like, you know what I'm saying? So, when I tell people, I'm like, listen to my clients, like, I want to invest in real estate. Listen, I was down 100K from real estate. Take it easy. Like, I'm not saying your situation is mine, but you don't know nothing about it. Yeah. You just saw a YouTube video of 60 seconds and now
you want to like, that's why I said I wanted to touch on that because I feel like a lot of people see even like the little cut up clips that they do, like the life, you can live like this. You just gotta do like, and it just makes me feel like, man, I wish people would really find their calling.
Yeah.
You understand? Because everybody has a calling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I believe that like, if you want to be a business person or a businesswoman, a businessman, whatever you want to do in life, you have to find what works for you.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Because the thing I say it is, you can still make money from that thing. However, you can still be unfulfilled.
Right.
So that's what hurts even worse because everybody around you see you at this pedestal and you smiling and saying, thank you when they tell you congratulations, but now you empty inside.
Right.
And now either you go AWOL or you just like, you know what, you lose passion for what you're doing or you never had it in the first place. Yeah. So, that's why I specialize with when it comes down to business consulting is beauty professionals. So I used to train them, makeup artists, hairstylists, nail tech, lash techs. So now I help them on the business side because they're so creative, but when it comes to business numbers, they don't even want to talk about it. They don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people like that.
So I help them break down their business as well. Like let's figure out your just even simple your P&L, like your gross, your expenses, what do you net at the end of the day? And then when it comes to this, like, all right, how would you allocate the funding for you to expand? Because everybody wants to expand, they want to rebrand, they want to revamp.
Right.
But how are you gonna do it to be profitable?
Right.
And we really get into detail. And when we get into detail, they were like, "Yo, KB, I didn't know none of this." And I'm like, "Well, I'm in the right space then."
Right.
Yeah. But I'm happy that I can help you through this process and get you situated. And this way you could have some groundwork because they spend money like drug dealers. They get a lot of cash transactions and they pay a deposit on Acuity or Style Seat and they take all the cash, and next thing you know, they buying the bottles, they going on vacation, they buying the bags.
Right.
And you look at the end of the year, it's like all you have is, videos from you in Tulum at Taboo, whatever. But you don't have nothing.
Yeah.
But and a lot of them they see the ceiling is like a luxury apartment and getting a Benz or a Beamer. And that's pretty much
that's
it.
That's the typical.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you really show them the business side.
Yeah,
that's needed and that's so important. So important. So let me ask you a question, right? Do you feel like lash techs, like hairstylists, do they have like the potential to grow as far as like a big business? You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Like, you know how some start off like,
Yeah.
like in their house or like as a
Yeah.
booth, like do they have the potential to really grow when it comes to gaining funding? How can they use the funding to leverage themselves?
I think it depends on how far they want to go.
Right.
So, and I say that again because it's different type of entrepreneurs. There's
Mm-hmm.
some people who just they want to build something and they want to sell it. There's
Mm-hmm.
some people who want to just operate in a business and that's pretty much it, be the solopreneur.
Mm-hmm.
There's some people that wants to work under an entrepreneur and help their vision, but they don't want the responsibility. They call it entrepreneur. So it really depends on identifying who you are. And I think that's the hardest part for people because you really got to look in the mirror and realize like, do I want to be that person or do I not want to be a person? Because
Mm-hmm.
if you want to be this big boss CEO, then you got to learn more how to operate the business, work on the business, not work in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if you're good with your hands and crafts, that's good at
Mm-hmm.
one level. But if you're going to that next level, you should be teaching other people how to do it. It should be a system. So most of them don't have systems and structure because they don't know about it.
Right.
So if you want to go to that next level, then you want to learn more about business and people that's run infrastructures. Because not for nothing, you go to Asian community, it's a system they have set up.
Mm-hmm.
They know you come in, all right, whoever's next, they're gonna take you.
Right.
They're gonna do this for you. We got this in the back. You pick out the colors that you want,
Yeah.
and it's pretty much, that's their system. But when it comes to our community, we just feel like I don't trust nobody.
Yeah.
I don't want nobody. This is my baby. I don't want this. And it's
Yeah.
like that comes with standards and good training.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't bring people. If you bring people on, anybody can cross you, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, what you ask them, what's your qualifying question? What's your onboarding process to get new employees?
Mm-hmm.
You just hire somebody because you ask Instagram, like, like yo, I got a chair available, and then they like, all right, bet she got the money, so she going.
You gotta actually have
Yeah.
the right.
You gotta have a standard for the people that's in your space.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes down to funding, my whole goal is to help beauty professionals make more by spending less time behind the chair.
Mm-hmm.
So they could take the funding, business credit or line of credit. I don't really do loans like that for them, especially if they new, because it's like that's an overhead that's gonna come regardless.
Yeah, the overhead.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
So
they make good money
yeah,
though.
so you can use it for expansion,
Mm-hmm.
where you can have more seats available. You got a great system, and you want to operate at a different level and have this. Everybody wants this grand luxury salon, like
Mm-hmm.
beauty spa with
I feel like that's literally
Yeah.
like the look, like
Yeah.
the
gold everywhere, waterfalls, all that.
Right.
I'm not knocking it, but it's just like, all right, what's going to be different in the
What's
marketplace?
gonna be different? Yep.
Also, too, some of them, they have product based, so
Mhm.
they probably do here, but they make more money from selling here.
Right.
However, if they could use the funding capital, not their own money, they can get a bundle, a bulk at a
Mhm.
cheaper rate, and their profit margins increase.
Oh wow.
So, and
I
then
didn't even know that.
yeah,
That's good.
so and then you have 30 days before the first payment is done because it's like a
Mhm.
regular credit card, and now you can make your capital and just keep rinsing and repeating.
So when you say you have 30 days, so say if I get my like funding or 30 days in between, like explain that.
Yeah, it's like a regular credit card. So it's like credit cards is the thing about what interest, to avoid interest, you pay before your statement date.
Right.
Most people don't know that. I didn't know that. So
You educated me. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so when you could pay on a due date,
Yeah.
however, it's never usually the same as the statement date. So the statement date is when they get reported to the credit bureaus.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when you see in your Experian, if you're using Credit Karma, you'll see that they added interest because they say this is what you owe. So
Right.
what I tell my clients, pay on your statement dates,
Statement date.
then use your card after,
Yeah.
so it won't show up as interest.
Right. Is that usually like a week before?
Yeah, it
Primarily?
varies. It varies based
Yeah.
on the account, but that's the part they don't tell us because they want to make money.
Right. That is crazy. You see?
Yeah. So when it comes down to that, we help clients get 0% interest for 12 months. So I tell them this, like, if you don't make money in 12 months, then you probably should be doing something else.
And it's really that simple. That's why
Yeah.
I said everybody has to find their calling.
Yeah.
Literally.
So on that end, then I help people understand how to structure the equipment that they have. Because a lot of times they got to buy this certain type of equipment.
Right.
And it's like, all right, let's use a certain card for that
Mhm.
because you got to pay back that. You don't want to just keep just sitting on that type of debt. And if you want to scale it, you want to franchise your shop, then you'll have more enough capital to do it. But if you're making, you say 30-40K a month for the whole shop, but you only net about 6 or 7, that's decent. However, you can't take that to spend to buy a new shop.
Right.
You might as well use your credit to leverage, and now you have the breathing room. And now you can scale it, in a way it's like, all right, now I got 2 shops. Now you get the 2 shops, then you go to 4. But it takes strategy, but it also takes discipline too.
Yeah.
Because the whole point of you making those profits, you got to pay those cards down. You still got to pay them people back.
You gotta pay them. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Nah, but that's really good. And I feel like, honestly, I'm happy that you touched on that because a lot of people don't know that. There's so many makeup artists, like people who do hair, they don't know that. So that's big. That's big. That's
so
big.
yeah,
That's
I also
big.
help teach my clients how to, win without just having to post, funny dancing reels all day. Because what's missing in the beauty space, is partnership and joint ventures. So you got your hair done, right? You got your nails done. Not now, but you get them down, right?
I get them done.
If you get your lashes done, right?
Yeah.
You don't go to the same person.
Not all the time.
Exactly,
for my
right?
hair, yeah.
But if they know each other, then why don't just set up some type of agreement where we both can win?
Yeah.
Because most hairstylists or makeup artists or they have their own particular people that they go to themselves. So why not set up a joint venture with someone that's in the same space that you trust already? So that's my thing, is just understanding like, yo, why y'all not doing this?
Yeah.
And it's something I wanted to do in training and I couldn't do it because
why not?
just a lot of ego.
Egos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people were like, yo, they look at me as competition. I'm like, that's fine, but we still can make money together.
Right.
But it was very hard in training. But now I get to do that with funding. So, I partner with a lot of different people. I'm partnered with Chase.
Yes, I wanted to talk about that because I was like, what's funny, when I seen that, I was so proud of you because I was like, yo, like starting from training and then to see you partner with Chase is big.
Yeah,
like, tell me about that. How was that? Like, say if I was like a client who wanted to, get your services, like what can I do for me?
It could do a lot.
Right.
But the first thing is like, when you go into the branch yourself, or you might go online, the average you might get is like 5,000 to 15,000. This is if you have a great credit score, over 700, no negatives, and if you don't have, this is no financial, so it's unsecured loan that they're giving, well, unsecured credit card.
So wait, so this is like.
Yeah, you don't have to put anything up.
Oh,
you just have to go off your credit report.
That's good.
So that's which
that's
is
like
good.
a regular credit card.
Yeah,
like you do. Yeah.
So it's cute. So what we do, we make sure that you prepped and have the best profile.
Yeah.
So you could get at least minimum 50,000.
And that's it.
So
that's the bomb that just dropped.
Yeah.
50,000, not 15.
Yeah, okay? There's some people that get more, but there's no really limit with Chase. But those people that don't have the financials, the taxes yet, and you just starting your business out. Right. But if you do have the financials, then definitely, if you're trying to get a couple million, holla at me. Like, we can definitely make it happen.
That's fire. That's fire. That's fire. And I always say, like, you always want to have the right people around you. Yeah. So that's amazing.
Because that's the benefits of working with me. But however, what we do with Chase, we actually do events for the community.
Really?
Yeah, we do business workshops.
Okay, let's hear a little bit more about that. That's good.
So with the business workshop, it's called A Better Business Workshop.
Oh wow, that's fine.
And
didn't you guys have? What's funny? You had an event recently. I was trying to get to it. I think I was out of state.
You always on the move.
I know, and I gotta stay still. But this is why we're here today. Yeah. But I was gonna say you had an event. I think it was some type of event, and it was the Chase. You had the Chase thing too, right?
So we actually have 6 events with Chase this year. So we got a whole rollout.
So I'll be at the next one.
Yeah. So initially that started because we did Get to the Back brunch. Me and my partner Glad.
Oh yeah, that was last year, right?
That was in 2022.
That was great. I met some great people there too.
Yeah, everybody.
Shout out to Didi. Yeah, I met some great people. That was great. Yeah. So, and y'all did y'all big one. You guys orchestrated that yourself, right? Wow.
So by us doing that helped leverage us to build a partnership with Chase, with the community affairs. So we was like, yo, we want to get back to community as far as in giving the information that wasn't taught and that they don't get on a regular. So we did our first event in December to help people with entrepreneurship. And then the last event that we did was Power Capital. So understanding cash flow, understanding P&L, understand what it takes to get approved from Chase, and also understand how to get your business certified so you could get those contracts,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
private contracts and government contracts.
Yes, I've
So
heard about
being
that.
black owned, and women black owned certifications.
You can get it easily,
Yeah,
right?
MBEs and WBE. So it's so dope because it's so much leverage that you can do that we don't know about. Where if you don't even have that many clients, but you're available, then you could get a contract for 150,000 for the year. So
That's
it's
big.
so many opportunities that I'm excited because I'm going through the process myself of getting my
Yeah,
business certified
that's good.
because you can basically set up a business to business type venture. So say if you had a cleaning company,
Right.
and you had a cleaning company and you want to get it out there, you're not good on social media. However, you know you do a great job. If you are certified, you're on basically like a pool. Like they'll be able to find your business, and you black owned. You need to be 50%, I think 51% black owned. You can get an agreement with Chase.
Wow.
You can get an agreement with other industries, other things, because they need people to do those services.
Right.
So you could clean, schools. You could clean, corporate buildings. All these things go in place because they have to give a certain portion to black-owned businesses.
Wow.
Within
I
their
did
budget.
not know that.
Yeah. So these are things I learned at the Chase event.
See, like, no, really.
Yeah. So
That's crazy.
we're doing our next one in May. We still got a pencil in the date, but I think it's gonna be at Hofstra.
In May.
So
Okay.
it's been amazing though because I'm learning as I'm attending my own events. We host them and we also are still learning and implementing.
Yeah, so you're learning basically as you're like going and teaching, and that's crazy.
And that's why I didn't like school because I had to learn it and wait.
Yeah.
You learn something today, you could make money tomorrow.
You could make it. And I love that. And I
Yeah.
love the fact that you implement that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I love that. So I wanted to ask you something, right? Say if I was a person who actually needed guidance, or I felt like, I want a business, but I don't know where to start. Like, what's the advice you would give me?
I would ask them always, why do you want a business?
Right.
Because
everybody wants to do a business.
Yeah, every time I run into problems or I run into annoying clients, I'm like, I see why people don't want to deal with this.
Yeah.
Because you don't know where the next dollar is coming from. You have projections, but it's a lot. At every level, you're still learning. But when it comes down to business, you really want to figure out what problem you want to solve.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing. Because it's like, what problem do you solve? How do you solve it? And why do you do it?
Right.
And you want to know, that's the basics of everything when it comes down to business. So my problem is that people don't have access to capital and they don't have strategy. So I solved that for them. And I solved that by, implementing systems and marketing strategies for them. And I do it because I love it and I know that it's not out there. It's not accessible like that. And instead of them have to do, a BS course at school, we can actually, strategize and figure this out.
Right.
So, it really takes on identifying yourself because what you want to see is what's missing in the marketplace. And then you want to make sure whatever marketplace you're in that is going to have some longevity. So, for example, one of my boys, he's actually had a cell phone company, tech electronics, he used to fix phones. But after a while, he realized like, it's drying up because there's Amazon out. Yeah. Everybody, they're going to run to the Apple store, get a new phone. They're not coming to the middle guys no more.
No more, yeah.
So if you're a mom and pop shop and you don't have, a website, you don't have a funnel set up, people going right to Amazon.
They're going to run to Amazon.
So you got to make sure whatever you want to do is some longevity there.
Right.
And the best way to hack that is by having, solid mentorship, is reading books that people that have done it. So I'm not against mentorships and courses because that's where I got where I'm at.
Right.
However, you got to do some qualifications of really figuring out if this person is for you. Now, don't just go to them because they say they're making money.
Right.
Because their money might just be from that course.
From that course.
Not from what they're actually doing.
And that's my thing. I'm just like, did you, people can literally say, okay, I made this. How do you know that you're not the source of the income?
Yeah. They don't think that far because they're just trying to get out of their situation. Yeah. So it's similar. I hate to say it, but it's similar to church in some pastors. So not all church is bad, but there's a lot of pastors who, they only preach prosperity. They only talk about money and give to the church and it'll be given unto you.
And not really about God.
Yeah. So you just got to be careful. You really got to qualify people. So, I always tell people, pray about the situation. Even clients, want to work with me.
Pray is big.
I'm like, pray on it. Pray and then, sign an agreement tomorrow.
One thing.
Yeah, if you feel this is right for you and it is divine with you, then I want you to be comfortable in the decision that you make.
Yeah. And one thing about God, I feel like he's never going to lead you the wrong way.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So when you pray on something and you really, really sit down and talk to him, he's always going to guide you where you need to be. So I love that. I also wanted to say, what advice would you give to somebody who you feel like is already a business owner and they kind of just want to like take it further? You know what I mean? What advice would you give to a person like that?
How far you want to go?
Oh, shoot. See? That's how real it is. How far do you want to take it, you know? Because you've been through a lot.
Yeah. I think how far you want to go, but also understanding how you want to get there.
Yeah.
So there's an opportunity cost for whatever thing that we're doing, which means like if you're putting this much work in your business, then you're taking away from time with your family, time with your significant other, time away from yourself. So you want to implement systems and automations and structure so things can be running. But I want to, make a significant amount of money, 8-9 figures in my lifetime. However, I'm realizing more about the cost and how I want to do it. So I don't want to be the dad, on vacation with the laptop at the beach. Like, that's not the vision for me. Like, I got to go take this call. It's $1 million deal.
Yeah.
If you're making that much money, how come you don't have someone, implementing or duplicating you? And that's where leadership comes in at. So if you're at that level and you're doing business, ask yourself if you're a great leader. Because if you're a great leader, you could bring other people up. Right. Yeah, like this, you have the same pastor for 40 years. Like, you can't bring nobody else up to speak.
No,
so
really. I agree.
I love church. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm giving you examples that I can understand.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to business, most people, they was like, I got to do it. And then like, if I don't get it done, it's not gonna be right. Yeah. Then that means you don't know how to teach it.
Yeah. Then how could you?
Yeah. Because professors, they're smart people. Yeah. But they're not great teachers.
No. And I think a lot of people don't really understand that. Like, they're really not.
Yeah. You acquired all the knowledge, but you didn't actually do it.
You didn't actually do it.
So what we... Yeah. So I think if you want to be at that level, that means you have to take time away from your business at a certain level. Yeah. So you might take a decrease in revenue because if you don't have the help. But however, on those days that you're not working, you say my downtime is my uptime. Because each day I work on my business is helping me in the future to taking away from my retirement. So that's how I pretty much strategize myself to like, you know what? I'm going to study today. I'm going to learn more about how to structure a P&L. I'm going to learn more to figure out how to calculate my cash flow. And these different terms that I learned in the last couple of months are really just chiming in. Yeah, I've been in business since 2013? That's the last time I clocked in.
Wow.
So
we in 2024.
Yeah.
That's some time.
So I'm still like, this things I never learned.
Yeah.
I knew how to market. I knew how to service people. I know how to have policies set up. However, and I know how to save. That was a big thing.
Yeah.
I knew how to save, but these other literary terms I didn't know. So as I'm studying now, I'm like, okay, this is what this is supposed to look like. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the beauty of it. It's an infinite game. Yeah. At every level, you're gonna learn even more.
Infinite wealth.
Yeah. There we go.
It's really that. It really gets that deep. I love that. And honestly, you inspired me today.
Right.
Like, no, seriously. Like this is big because I'm learning as you're speaking to me. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we go through these points where we feel like we know everything. Yeah. And we really don't. You know, it's always good to learn.
Yeah. It's always someone doing better than you, doing more. Always. Yeah. So circle is important. Yeah. I know it's enough of that on social media, but it's really important to identify those people that you could, go 3-4 layers with. So, most people, I got my turnout friends, I got my business friends, I got my school friends, I got my work friends. But when you start to minimize that and realize, I only could talk to this person about one thing, it's like, not saying what can I get from them, but it just when it comes down to it, how can I even alleviate or talk about things that I'm going through?
That you're going through.
So you gotta know who has the capacity around you, because a lot of times when it comes down to that next level and that multi-6-figure growth, it's really personal growth. Yeah, it's not about doing the thing no more. It's about how you operate when you're not doing a thing. That's going to bring you to the next level. And relationships.
Relationships are big. Yeah. And a lot of people don't understand that. Like in the business world, you have to value that. You can't go around burning bridges. Like you really have to value your relationships, and networking is big.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Do you feel like networking is actually like the main foundation of being successful? I believe it is. It's one of the core foundations to me.
I definitely believe that. I think it gets watered down
Mm-hmm.
because it's like, all right, what do you do? This is what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's my card, and that's
Yeah.
pretty much it. There's no
Mhm.
connection involved, and I think you got to learn how to network too. Like
Yeah,
that's
you
another
gotta
thing
learn
that
it.
you got to learn how to communicate, and that's
Mhm.
one of the best skill sets you can have is communication.
Communication.
So if you're not able to read, body language, not able to read, or listen to what this person is saying, or
Mhm.
understand, if I don't know this word, how can I use context clues to figure out, what this person is talking about,
Mhm.
or how can I directly tell them, yo, how can you explain that?
Right.
Instead of saying, yo, I don't know that,
Yeah.
yo, so what do you mean by that?
Mhm.
You want to be able to communicate as much as possible. But
Mhm.
I think with networking, it just gets so watered down where you don't really get to know the person.
Yeah.
You just like, all right, I'm a trainer. You sell meals. Let's work together.
Let's work together.
Eh,
Like you have to.
It has to be some type of common ground
Some type of
connection.
common ground. Yeah.
But I still, now I'm on my mission to network even more because a lot of my clientele, with the bracket I want to go after, they're not really on Instagram like that. So, people that want, these $1 million loans and $2 million loans, they are actually not on social media. Most of the time, people that's, in those brackets, they just stay to themselves, stays with their
Right.
business and their family.
Yeah.
So
But that's good that
Yeah.
with the networking thing, because it's funny. People think Instagram and social media is the main like priority or like thing that you use to network. It's not.
It's not. It's
really not. There's people out here who don't have social media and still are successful.
Yeah, for sure. And as I learned, it's different from training because training, that's where all my people were at. Like you see the work in front of you. It's very visual. You see somebody lose weight in 3-4 weeks, you gonna hit the person up. Yo, I want to sign up.
Right.
This is finances. I really know people's business.
Yeah.
Socials, bank accounts, all of that information.
All of that, yeah.
So you're gonna go with somebody that you trust. Yes, you might see that guru tell you, yo, you could go to this bank, you could go to that bank, but not gonna trust them with your information.
Yeah.
You're gonna go with somebody that you're connected with or somebody that work well with. So I'm building my name in that space of helping with the finance. Like, yo, KB's got to talk to. If you're in a situation, you're trying to get more capital or you need help strategizing your business,
go to you. Right.
Right.
I want to ask you something too. You just said something that really highlighted, well, to me, it kind of stood out when you were like, people say, oh, go to that bank, go to that bank. You know what I noticed too about a lot of these gurus that I just that I came across? Like I had someone before, I took a course. This was mad long ago. Before I actually educated myself.
We all took them.
We all been there. And they was like, yeah, you could just walk in, go to this bank, and you'll get a $50K. Just walk in and then go to this one, but don't go to that one because they I think they were saying like they use TransUnion and then you can go to Experian, like you can play around with that. Do you know, like, tell me more about that? Like,
wait, did you get the 50K?
I did it. I did it. I didn't get the 50K and I was so pissed. And I think I spent like $300 on that course. I was so upset. I was like, I'm done with courses. After that, I think honestly, I spent about maybe like $2,000 on courses.
Yeah.
I used to really
course junkie.
I was a course junkie. And I used to really believe in that. Like, okay, maybe if I like do this or do that, you understand? I had my head in too many things. Yeah. And I noticed like if I just focus on one thing and I teach myself.
Yeah. Because that's the thing too. Some people buy it and they don't finish it and they do one thing and they say, all right, don't work. This person's a fraud. But there's some people who actually do the work. And that's the thing about when you buy it because the plays change. Yeah. So my thing is like, yo, run the play. However, just know that the same play might not work.
Right.
But when people say go to this bank, go to that bank, they're not telling you what's required.
Exactly. It's like you're not telling me the real, like what, because what's funny? A lot of people don't understand. You need to show some type of like, income. Like you cannot just go and get, hey, can I have, like, you can't do that. You have to show that you're actually making that. Certain banks don't even let you walk in and get certain amount of money without showing that you're making a certain amount of income. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? So that's another thing too.
Yeah, and they cracking down on a lot of different things that they were offering. Yeah. So if you're watching a YouTube video from 2 years ago, it was accurate for that point in time, but things have changed. Guidelines have changed because a lot of people do a lot of fraud, a lot of fake LLCs, get the funding, then they dissolve it. So that was the game.
Wow, are you serious?
Yeah, for sure.
That was a thing?
Yeah.
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, to get the LLC, get the funding, boom, dissolve it, go do the next one.
It's kind of similar to like CPNs. How
Yeah.
people are burning them out.
So my thing is, it's all about direction. Like it depends on your profile, and most importantly. So for example, somebody who might have like a 740, 750 credit score, that depends on which bureau.
Right.
So they might say, "Oh, go to Navy Federal. It pulls from TransUnion," but not on the business side.
Right.
But they don't explain that. The business side it pulls from Experian.
Yeah, no.
So you would go in there and thinking like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm prepared," and it's like,
and
no.
you get a big D. Denied.
And and when it comes to that, it's really down to relationships again. So when you have relationships with people that's in the bank, branch relationship managers, that plays a role. And also, if you're making money, if you're not making money, it's gonna be a chance it's gonna be hard for you to get funding. But if you have the financials, then it's not hard. If you have the taxes, you have the personal returns, or you have the income statements from the bank account. So it's all about strategy, but you can't take what someone's telling you on Instagram when it's like one to many.
Right.
They don't see your profile. They don't see that, you got that fraud alert on there and you're going to get denied regardless.
Oh my gosh. And it's really that deep.
Yeah.
It really gets that deep.
So people are like, I only had one late payment. And it's like, that's a late payment. That's 35% of your score. Right. So yeah, what I tell people, we got to dissect it because most people always try to tell me now, like, yo, I heard you got the loans. Let me try to get some. I got a 707, 7 this. I'm like, yeah, we got to do a call. I got to look at your report.
Yeah, people don't understand. It's really about the credit report.
Yeah, they're so focused on the number. Nah.
Yeah.
The profile means everything. And I think it's a lot for clickbait. I'm not mad, but that's why I told myself, I got this new camera, I got to put more out there about the right way of going about it.
Yeah. Because
there's so much smoke and fluff about you can do this, you can do that. It's just easy. And it's like, yo, you don't want to do that. And especially for certain banks, once they see what you're doing, they'll close your whole account. Yeah. And now you clipped up. And you still got to pay them back.
Still got to pay. That is so sick.
Yeah. And Chase for those is one of those girls that don't forget anything.
Yeah, they don't.
So if you did something in high school, they still know about it.
They still know.
You did something 20 years ago, they still know about it.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that's clear first before you go apply. Because you can have a perfect profile and then be like, nope, unsatisfactory with Chase.
Relationships are everything.
Yeah.
People don't understand. Just like you have a relationship with your friend, you need to have a relationship with your bank.
Yeah, for sure.
In every way, especially if you want to be a business owner, if you're really trying to get in that lane, you have to have a relationship. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. This was nice.
Yeah, this was dope.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like, this was actually like big for me because this is the first episode today.
Let's get it.
So I really appreciate you really coming on and really like this talk that we had. I feel like really just it educated me.
That's fine.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, you're really good at talking and expressing yourself, and I love that. Before we close out, I just want to ask you something. What advice do you give to everybody watching? Like, to stay consistent, how to be consistent at what you do. Because what's funny, consistency is a big thing. When I look at you, I see consistency, point blank period. Because to come from training to real estate, I feel like you've been through your trial and errors, and now it's like your time to flourish. You understand what I'm saying?
For sure.
So how do you focus on consistency?
I would say staying grounded to your purpose. So I know what my end goal, like, God showed me the glimpse of that and through dreams and just from speaking to people. Yeah. What's the calling of my life? And most people don't think it's that deep, but it is for me. And I'm a firm believer of going after what you want, but also understanding giving yourself grace at the same time. Because most of the time you shoot yourself in the foot because you feel like I'm supposed to be here by now. This person started after me. And do you get in the spirit of comparison? And, that takes away joy from the present moment. So every L that you take, it's not a loss, it's a lesson. And it's going to prevail you because only reason I'm experienced because I took these losses and I learned from them. So I know more than most people because I went through these things. Yeah. And there's a lot of things I wanted to avoid, but I learned from other people's experiences, but I just had to go through mine. Yeah. And I think everybody has to face everything that's in front of them. Don't skip over it. Don't hide from it. Don't just talk about it. Like, actually face it.
Actually be about it and face it.
Because whatever it is requiring you to be the person that you want to be at this next level.
Yes.
So I couldn't be who I am where I was years ago with training. Like, who I am now is a totally different person.
Yeah.
And it's only been 2 years, but however, that's how intentional I'm about every day
Mm-hmm.
of learning, implement, talking to people, building relationships.
Yeah.
So yeah, you want to make sure if you want to stay consistent, you got to have your purpose in front of you. And you got to smile and enjoy the rain too.
Enjoy it. And I love that. Like, and I do really, truly believe that. I do. And a lot of people forget that is the importance of it. You understand? And that is the purpose of it. Like, just don't get caught up in business.
Yeah.
Like, you have to also really just enjoy your time in your life and smile. You know what I mean? And trust God.
Yeah. We had an earthquake today, so.
And we're still here recording. And we really had an earthquake today. New York is getting crazy.
Yeah.
It's getting a little
So I hope that was a wake-up call for a lot of people.
Yeah, no, it had to be. It had to be because we out, people out here living, and they ain't living right. So. But I'm grateful to have you. Thank you so much for today.
No problem.
And honestly, on our 10th episode, we're going to do a recap.
Let's do it.
And we're going to be at 100K by then.
Let's do it.
All right. Thank you so much, KB. It was such a pleasure.
No problem.
I appreciate it. And stay tuned for the next episode, guys, okay? Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.